The slap echoed across the quiet hall. It was sharp, loud, clear. Everyone turned. My head snapped to the side. My cheek burned like fire. My black headscarf shifted slightly, and I tasted blood at the edge of my lip. Gasps filled the funeral hall in Victoria Island. Right there in front of my father's coffin, my own mother, Franca, had slapped me. All because I tried to help. "You have no shame, Ada," she shouted, her voice shaking. "You want to steal the spotlight on the day we are burying your father?" I froze. The choir stopped singing. Even the men from Okoye who came in dark suits whispered to each other. But what my mother did not know, what no one in that hall knew, was that 3 days ago, in a quiet office in Lagos Island, a lawyer had looked at me and said something that changed my life forever. And now, as my mother's handprint burned on my face, one black SUV pulled into the compound. The same SUV I saw at that lawyer's office. And the man stepping out of it was looking straight at me. 3 days earlier, my father, Chief Dio Odogwu, was not just a rich man. He was powerful. People called him Odogwu because he built things from nothing. He owned banks, oil companies, tech firms, even estates in Lekki and Banana Island. But at home, he was quiet, gentle, especially with me. I am Ada Odogwu. I am 22. Slim, dark-skinned, with long braids that reach my back. People say I look too soft to be the daughter of a man like him. My mother, Franca, always preferred my older brother, Sola, tall, loud, confident. He walks like he already owns Lagos. When my father collapsed in his private study, everything changed. No warning. No sickness. Just one phone call. By evening, the house in Ikoyi was full of uncles, aunties, business partners, and fake friends. But something felt strange. The next morning, a man came asking for me. Not for my mother, not for Sola, for me. His name was Barrister Mola Kensington. Tall, gray suit, calm eyes. "I need to speak with Ada privately," he said. My mother frowned. "About what?" "It concerns your father's final instructions." Final instructions? My heart began to beat fast. Inside his office on Lagos Island, the air conditioner hummed softly. Files were arranged neatly. A large photo of my father hung behind his desk. Mola folded his hands. "Your father made changes to his will 6 months ago," he said gently. I swallowed. "He transferred controlling shares of Odogwu Holdings to you." I laughed nervously. "And that is not funny. I'm not joking." My hands felt cold. "How much is that worth?" I asked. He looked at me steadily. "Approximately $500 billion in global assets." The room went quiet. 500 billion. I thought I misheard him. "That is impossible. My brother—" "Your father was very clear," Mola interrupted. "He believed you were the only one he could trust." Trust? Why me? Before I could ask more questions, his assistant rushed in. "Sir, there is someone asking questions about the will. They seem very serious." Mola's face changed. He turned back to me. "You must not tell anyone about this yet, Ada. Not even your mother." My stomach tightened. "Why?" He leaned closer. "Because someone already knows something has changed." And now at the funeral, after my mother slapped me in front of everyone, that same black SUV door opened. Barrister Mola stepped out. But he was not alone. Two stern-looking men followed him, and behind them, my brother Sola. His eyes locked onto mine, not with sadness, not with grief, but with something darker, something dangerous. And in that moment, I knew. The slap was only the beginning. The hall became silent as Barrister Mola walked in. His shoes clicked softly on the marble floor. The two men behind him did not smile. They looked like men who protect secrets. My cheek still hurt from the slap. My mother stood stiff, breathing hard. Sola adjusted his black suit and looked away from me, as if I had done something wrong. Barrister Mola stopped in front of my father's coffin. He bowed his head for a few seconds. Then he turned. "Mrs. Franca Odogwu," he said calmly. "May we speak privately?" "This is not the time," my mother snapped. "We are burying my husband." "I understand," Mola replied gently, "but what I have to say cannot wait." People began to whisper again. Justice. That word suddenly felt heavy in the air. My mother crossed her arms. Say it here. Sola stepped forward quickly. No, mother. Let us hear him outside. His voice was smooth, but his eyes were sharp. We moved to a quiet corner near the garden of the funeral home in Victoria Island. The sun was bright. Cars lined the street. Security guards stood far away. Barrister Mola looked at each of us. Chief Dio Odogwu left clear written instructions, he began. There must be no fighting, no public scandal, no shame to the Odogwu name. My mother's face softened slightly at the sound of my father's name. He believed in justice, Mola continued, and he also believed in mercy. Sola gave a small laugh. What does that mean? It means, Mola said firmly, that although the controlling shares of Odogwu Holdings have been transferred to Ada, the family will still be provided for generously. My mother blinked. Transferred to who? She whispered. My heart began to pound loudly. To Ada, Mola repeated. My mother turned slowly toward me. Her eyes were wide. That is not possible. Sola stepped closer to the lawyer. You are lying. I am not, Mola said calmly. Your father made this decision after reviewing certain financial reports. Financial reports? Sola's jaw tightened. What reports? He demanded. Mola paused. There were irregular withdrawals from company accounts. Large sums. The chief investigated quietly. My stomach dropped. Was Sola's face changed for a second, but he quickly forced a smile. You are accusing me? I am stating facts, Mola replied. My mother looked confused and hurt. Sola would never steal from his father. Your father did not want police involvement, Mola continued. That is the mercy part. He believed mistakes can be corrected. Sola's fist clenched. He believed Ada would protect the company and the family name, Mola added softly. The words hung in the air. My mother's eyes slowly filled with tears. She looked at me, not with anger this time, but with fear. You knew, she asked me. I shook my head quickly. I just found out 3 days ago. You hid it from me? She whispered. I was told not to say anything yet. Sola suddenly laughed loudly. This is nonsense, he said. You think you can take everything from me? It is not about taking, Mola replied. It is about protecting what your father built. For a moment, no one spoke. Then Sola leaned close to me. You think you have power now? He said quietly so only I could hear. His voice was cold. You do not understand the kind of world father was living in. Before I could answer, one of the stern-looking men stepped forward and handed Mola a tablet. Mola glanced at it. His face changed. He looked at Sola. We may have a bigger problem, he said. What problem? My mother asked, her voice shaking. Mola looked directly at me. Someone just tried to transfer $10 million from one of the holding accounts. Sola's smile disappeared. And the access code used, Mola continued slowly, belongs to you, Sola. My brother did not speak. Well, he simply stared at me, and I realized justice was coming, but mercy might not save him this time. Sola did not deny it. He did not shout. He did not run. He just stared at the tablet in Barrister Mola's hand as if it had betrayed him. That is impossible, my mother said quickly. There must be a mistake. Mola's voice was calm but firm. The transfer was stopped before it was completed. The system flagged it because of the ongoing will transition. Sola finally spoke. So now you are spying on me? No, Mola replied. The company protects itself. We stood in the quiet garden. The noise from the funeral hall felt far away, like it belonged to another world. My mother looked at Sola with tears in her eyes. Tell them it is not true. Sola looked at her, then at me. Then he laughed softly. You all think you understand, Father, he said. Era, you think he was clean? My heart skipped. What do you mean? I asked. Sola stepped closer, lowering his voice. Father made enemies, powerful enemies, politicians, foreign investors, men who smile in public and destroy you in private. Mola's face remained steady, but I saw something flicker in his eyes. Are you saying someone forced you? Mola asked. I am saying, Sola replied, that if this money does not move soon, we will all have bigger problems than a will. My mother grabbed his arm. What are you talking about? Sola pulled his arm away gently. There are debts, he said, not normal debts. Strategic debts. I did not understand. Father borrowed? I asked. No, Sola said sharply. Father invested in something that has not yet matured. Mola shook his head. Summer Chief Dio did not approve any new strategic investments in the last 6 months. Sola's jaw tightened. That is because he stopped trusting me, he said quietly. Silence fell again. The truth was heavy. You tried to move the money to protect us? My mother asked. Sola did not answer directly. He looked at me. Do you know what happens when powerful people feel cheated? He asked softly. They do not send letters. They send consequences. My stomach twisted. Who? I whispered. Before he could respond, one of the stern men stepped forward again. Sir, he said to Mola, there is someone asking for Mr. Sola Odogwu at the main gate. Mola frowned. Who? They did not give a name, but they said he knows why they are here. My mother gasped. Sola's face went pale for the first time. Describe them, he said quickly. 2 men. Foreign accents. Black suits. My heart began to beat fast again. Do not let them in, Mola ordered immediately. They are not asking for permission, the man replied. They are already walking in. From the garden, we could see the tall gates of the funeral home. 2 unfamiliar men stepped inside confidently, ignoring the guards. They looked calm, too calm. One of them held a small envelope. Sola whispered something under his breath. What did you do? I asked him. He looked at me with eyes full of something I had never seen before. Fear. They were not supposed to come today, he said. The men stopped a few steps away from us. One of them smiled politely. Mr. Sola Odogwu, he said with a slight foreign tone, we need to talk about the deadline. My mother clutched her chest. Deadline? She whispered. And the man opened the envelope slowly. Inside was a photograph. He held it up so only we could see. It was a picture of our house in Ikoyi, and written in red ink across the photo were 3 words. Final notice. My breath caught in my throat, and in that moment I understood. This was no longer just about inheritance. It was about survival. My mother almost collapsed. Barrister Mola caught her before she fell. The foreign men stood calmly, as if this was a simple business meeting and not a threat during a funeral. Let us speak privately, one of them said smoothly. No, Mola replied firmly. You will say what you came to say here. The man smiled slightly. As you wish. He turned to Sola. You signed an agreement, he said. $25 million, short-term bridge financing, high return, very urgent. My head spun. Okay, Sola, my mother whispered. It was temporary, Sola said quickly. I was going to pay it back. With what? I asked. With the expansion deal Father refused to approve, Sola snapped. The second man opened a small folder. The repayment deadline was yesterday. Sola swallowed. We extended it once, the first man added. We do not extend twice. Barrister Mola stepped forward. This is intimidation. You are disrupting a funeral. We are protecting our investment, the man replied calmly. If payment is not received by tonight, we begin asset recovery. Asset recovery, my mother repeated faintly. Yes, the man said. Properties, vehicles, overseas accounts. My heart pounded. Those accounts are now under my control, I said before I could stop myself. All eyes turned to me. The man studied my face carefully. So, he said softly, Atun, you are the new decision maker. Sola looked at me sharply. Do not, he warned under his breath, justice, mercy. The words echoed in my mind. My father chose me to protect the company, but he also chose mercy for Sola. If I refused to help, Sola would be destroyed. If I helped blindly, I could destroy everything my father built. What proof do we have of this agreement? Mola asked. The second man handed him a document. Mola scanned it quickly. His face tightened. It is real, he said quietly. My mother covered her mouth. Why did you not tell us? She asked Sola. Because Father already believed I was incapable, Sola said bitterly. I wanted to prove him wrong. You risked everything, I whispered. I risked it for growth, he replied. The first man checked his watch. You have until 9 p.m. tonight, he said. Eat $25 million, full repayment, or we proceed. And if we pay, I asked. He smiled politely. Then this matter ends peacefully. They turned and walked away calmly, as if they had just ordered coffee. The gate closed behind them. Silence filled the garden again. My mother began to cry softly. Mola looked at me. If you transfer that money without proper review, you may open the company to deeper problems. If I do nothing, I said, they will start taking assets. Sola stepped closer to me. You think this is simple? He asked. You think you can fix it because father signed some papers? His voice was no longer angry. It was desperate. Those men are connected to people you do not want to fight. My phone suddenly vibrated in my hand, unknown number. I hesitated, then I answered. A calm male voice spoke. Greet Miss Ada Odogwu? Yes. You do not know me, but I worked with your father. Do not pay that money. My breath stopped. If you pay, the voice continued quietly, you will trigger something far worse than debt. The line went dead. I slowly lowered the phone. Sola was staring at me. Who was that? He demanded. I looked at him, my heart racing. I think, I said slowly, we are not seeing the full picture. And in that moment I realized, this was no longer just about Sola's mistake. It was about a secret my father took to his grave. The sun was setting over Victoria Island. The funeral guests were leaving slowly. Cars drove away. The hall grew quiet. But my heart was not quiet. It was loud, beating with fear, with anger, with confusion. I looked at Sola. I need the full truth, I said firmly. No more hiding. He hesitated. And then he spoke. Father was about to expose them, he said quietly. Expose who? My mother asked. The men behind that loan, Sola replied. They are not just investors. They move money through fake companies. They use respected businesses as cover. Mola's eyes widened slightly. Chief Dio mentioned concerns about offshore accounts, he said slowly, but he never gave names. Because he was gathering proof, Sola said. He told me to stay away. I did not listen. My stomach tightened. So the 25 million, I asked? I thought if I partnered with them first, I could control the deal, Sola admitted. But they trapped me instead. Justice, mercy. Now I understood what my father meant. He knew Sola was ambitious. He knew he made reckless choices, but he also knew something bigger was happening. My phone buzzed again. A message this time. It was from an unknown number, a simple file attachment. Mola quickly opened it on his tablet. It was a recorded video. My father's face appeared on the screen. The recording was dated 2 weeks before his death. If you are watching this, my father said calmly, it means I was right to be cautious. My mother gasped softly. I discovered that certain foreign partners are using Odogwu Holdings to mask illegal transactions, he continued. I refuse to cooperate. I believe they may try to pressure this family. He paused. Ada, if you are seeing this, it means I trusted you. Do not respond with fear. Respond with wisdom. Tears rolled down my face. There is a secure file in Barrister Mola's possession, my father added. It contains evidence. If anything happens to me, release it to the authorities. The video ended. Silence, Sola looked broken. They knew he was investigating, he whispered. Mola nodded slowly. This changes everything. If we pay them, I said, thinking carefully, we become part of their system. And if we refuse? My mother asked. We release the evidence, Mola replied. We go to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. We let justice handle it. Sola closed his eyes. I made a mistake, he said quietly. I wanted power. I did not see the trap. I looked at him. This was my brother, flawed, proud, but still family. I will not destroy you, I said softly, but I will not protect wrongdoing either. He nodded slowly. That is fair. Justice without cruelty, mercy without weakness. I turned to Mola. Prepare the file, I said. And the 25 million, he asked, we will not pay. That night, instead of transferring money, we sent evidence. Within days, investigations began. Those foreign men stopped calling. Their offices in Lagos closed suddenly. The threat faded. My mother apologized for the slap. She cried in my arms. Sola stepped down from any control of company finances and agreed to cooperate with investigators. The company survived, stronger, cleaner. My father's name remained respected in Lagos, but sometimes late at night, I still think about that moment in the funeral home. The slap, the humiliation, the choice I had to make. I inherited $500 billion. But more than that, I inherited responsibility. If you were in my shoes, would you have chosen justice, mercy, or fear?